You're now live, Council.
Great, thank you, Ms. Rousseau. Okay, Council, I'd like to call this regular council meeting of January 10th, 2023 to order with adoption of the agenda. Someone want to make that motion? Councilor Orlando, seconded by Councilor Cherry. All in favor? Motion's carried. Adoption of the minutes of the regular council meeting of December 13th, 2022. Someone make that motion for me. Councilor Cherry, Councilor Stapenhurst, all in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you. Any business arising from those minutes of December 13th? Seeing none, I'm just going to move right on to announcements from the mayor. I just want to say thank you for everyone being here. This is now a new year, 2023. Looking forward to the year and grateful that we're able to be together to carry this on. All right, we're going to move right into item 9A, zoning amendment bylaw. Someone want to put this motion on the table just before we go in. So Councilor Palmer, I'll get you to do that motion and then I'm going to talk to Mr. Simon. So Councilor Palmer, if you'd make that motion, please. You're muted. Councilor Palmer, you're muted.
That zoning amendment bylaw number 2348 be read a third time.
So seconder for that motion, please. Councilor Stapenhurst. Mr. Simon, any comments on this motion? This is for the property on McInnes Road, putting it into 3 lots. Is that correct?
Through your worship, that is correct. It is looking to rezone the property to residential 2 district. This is Ms. Hartling's file, who is also on the call, should council have any questions, but no immediate comments from the Planning and Development Services Group.
All right. Any questions for Ms. Hartling, council? Seeing none, I will call the question. All in favor? Opposed? No, motion is carried. Number 2, someone want to put that on the table for me, please. Councilor Devlin.
Move that zoning amendment bylaw number 2348 be adopted.
Seconder for that motion, please. Councilor Cherry. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? No, motion is carried. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Simon, Ms. Hartling. All right, let's move on to item 9B. This is dealing with dark sky friendly street lighting plan. And so someone want to put the motion on the table for me? Councilor Devlin.
Move that subdivision development and servicing amendment bylaw number 2349 dark sky friendly street lighting plan be adopted.
Seconder for the motion, please. Councilor Stapenhurst. Any discussion on the motion? Any questions? Mr. Black is here in the room. Councilor Luciano.
Thanks, Your Worship. Just one question. The LZ3 zone, why it encompasses a big section between 2nd Street and Victoria, right near the CB rail yard.
Mr. Black.
You've caught me completely off guard. The question is, why is it
Yeah, why did that? Because it is a mixed, like, commercial residential area. Why was that zoned LZ3 compared to the other residential areas around it that are zone 1 or zone 2?
My only initial thoughts would be that there's more outdoor activity associated with the yard.
Okay.
Yeah.
And therefore it would have a higher lighting intensity because of the dangers associated with it.
Okay. Yeah, because it just goes into the residential areas and then back to 3rd Street.
Yeah. And so basically it states there just in that statement includes commercial corridors, high intensity suburban commercial uses, town centers, mixed use areas, large scale industrial uses and shipping and rail yards with high nighttime activity, high use recreational playing fields, regional shopping malls, car dealerships, gas stations, and other nighttime active exterior retail areas. Pretty much spells out what you're just saying. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Councilor Palmer, did you have a question? No? Okay. Any other questions from council? Saying none, all those in favor? Opposed? No, motion is carried. Thank you. All right, Moving on to correspondence. 11A is a request for Indigenous Friendship Society requesting city representative. And Councillor Lucia, they've asked for your service regarding that. Any comments from you?
No, I would be honored to be the council representative for the society.
Okay. Any comments from council regarding this request? Saying none, does any one of you want to appoint Councillor Lucio, and we'll move that forward. Councillor Orlando?
Sure, I'm prepared to create a motion here that Councillor Lucio be designated as the city representative to the Indigenous Friendship Society of Rebels.
Seconder for the motion, please. Councillor Devlin. Any further discussion on this? Any further comments, Councillor Lucio?
Nope.
Okay. I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? No, motion's carried unanimously. All right, we're going to move on to communication. SILGA call for 2023 nominations and resolutions. Any comments from councillors regarding that? Councillor Orlando.
Yeah, Your Worship, for the call for nominations as well as the call for resolutions, the deadline for that is in February, and I just wanted to have a quick discussion about any process for bringing forth both, particularly resolutions, and if anybody wants to stand for nominations, I think it would be worthwhile to review that, and I don't know if staff compiles a list of potential resolutions for forwarding. I know we were talking about one a few weeks ago, I can't recall. We've discussed
Any
it
comment,
off the
Ms.
top
Todd?
of our head.
So Councillor Orlando, through your worship, we don't have a formal process for the nominations part of it. I think should someone choose to stand, we could bring something forward to the January 24th or the February meeting, and then send it to SILGA that way. As far as the resolutions go, the same thing. Usually there's a resolution in council to bring something forward to SILGA.
Sure. And what would the process for that be, I guess? So if I had something or another councillor wanted to bring something forward, should we suggest that now, or should we, can this be something that we forward to staff to prepare a report of potential resolutions?
Yeah, I think that would be appropriate.
Okay, so that's just general direction for any mayor and council if they want to or have something. And I'll just chip in a little bit of background that I'm aware of. So SILGA, Southern Interior Local Government Association, this resolution that we would make, these are aimed at the provincial government. So basically they go to SILGA, get approved or denied by SILGA, and then the next step is to go to the UBCM meeting. And then at the UBCM meetings, those resolutions are considered in an open format with hundreds of people, councillors from all over BC sitting in a room voting on them. It does take a little bit of administration to get your resolutions right, because you don't want it to be repeating something that was done last year or something that another municipality has done. But I think it's definitely worthwhile if there's something where we want to lobby the provincial government for to work together and follow through on this process. So, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit further to that is quite often we will get emails to corporate services from other municipalities that are looking for support for their resolutions. So you guys can also, if we get those recommendations from other municipalities, we'll put them on the communications in the next council agendas, and then you can choose whether or not to support them.
Right.
And this gives you a chance as a group to discuss this if it's something that's important to you and you think it's something worthy of provincial government. By all means, bring it forward to this table. First, pass it through staff. They'll do a report, and then it'll come and we can discuss it around the table.
Great.
Anything further, Council?
Your worship, no.
Okay.
Just to confirm, that's gotta be before February
Before
25th?
February 24th.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going to move on to Communications Task Force meeting minutes. So Councilor Orlando, do you want to elaborate on the meeting that we had?
Yes, Your Worship, thank you. As has been discussed briefly, there's some minutes from the Communications Task Force meeting. Essentially, we're sort of focusing on two things. Number one, some short-term steps to make some improvements, and then number two, the longer-term plan, including resourcing through staff and taking that through the budget process. The report that's on the agenda here talks about some of the things that we discussed. And I do have a question. Originally, we had hoped to bring this to committee of the whole meeting, I think in late December, or early January, the council meeting. I would really like to still see this be brought forward to the committee of the whole to allow, especially senior staff, an opportunity to weigh in and have council sort of discuss the concepts and bring those forward. And we do have another meeting of the task force this Thursday at 9:30 or 9 o'clock on Thursday. So anybody who would like to attend and see what we're working on is welcome. I know a few senior staff are going to be there to talk about their needs. We're going to look at some technology stuff as well. I guess just to ask regarding that, is it possible to bring this forth still to a committee of the whole discussion?
So Councillor Orlando, are you looking for the minutes to come forward, or are you looking for on page 1 where it says a summary, present the 2020 strategic communications and engagement plan to committee of the whole? So just that plan?
I think I would like to have that plan presented, and hopefully what we can do there is present resolutions, create resolutions at the committee of the whole meeting to be brought back here. The key thing for me is getting some senior staff input there, and just some background on what regarding that question from Ms. Floyd. In 2020, the city commissioned a strategic communications and engagement plan. However, that process kind of, I guess, it was right around the time of the start of COVID, and that kind of stopped, and that report still exists and is still waiting to be approved by council. So we're trying to get that plan forward for discussion. I feel it needs maybe a little bit of updating, but it's essentially a pretty good plan that will form a basis for us to take the next steps beyond that in terms of practical outcomes, such as looking towards budgeting, hiring, and specific instruction.
So sorry, further to that, are you suggesting that this come to Thursday's committee of the whole meeting or the February one? Is there a time constraint?
I guess I would say the sooner the better. It doesn't need to be on Thursday. My assumption was that it would, since the previous committee of the whole was canceled, that it would come forward at the next committee of the whole, but it has this, at least for communications, this is on this agenda, but I would really like to see it before committee of the whole especially to gather some input from senior staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's bring it forward in February, unless you've got time to get something prepared for Thursday.
February will probably be the
Sure.
better time, because then we'll have Thursday's meeting under our belts as well, and we can work together and come up with something.
Sure, that's right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from council? Seeing none. Ms. Rousseau, do we have any questions from the press?
No questions from the press, Your Worship.
All right, council, I'd like to move in camera pursuant to section 90.1A and C of the community charter. Somebody want to make that motion for me, please? Councilor Devlin, seconded by Councilor Cherry. All in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you. We will now go in camera. Let's take a 5-minute break and then we will be back at it. Thank you.